Oh, yes, I'm live again, guys. I had to come live again because this is not only Pi Day 3.14, but it's also Chat GPT 4 release day, at least for those that have Plus. I do have Plus, so I want to get right into this, guys. This is so interesting, and I don't want to try to trick or catch up or do anything with ChatGPT 4, but you know, I love the knowledge that it has, and I definitely want to test it. So, what I said was, when did the Los Angeles Rams win the Super Bowl? And it said, as of my knowledge, updated or update in September 20th, 21, the Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl most recently in 1999, when they were based in St. Louis. They defeated the Tennessee Titans with a score of 23-16. However, I do not have information on any potential Super Bowl wins since then. Please check the latest information to confirm if the Los Angeles Rams have another Super Bowl. So that's the first question I asked her, and that's the first answer it gave me. And that was fair. I just wanted to see. They said that the Chat GPT 4 was trained in 2022, so I wanted to see what they knew. So then I said, the Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl in 2022. Which Super Bowl would that have been? Then it proceeded to give me all of the information. I said, wait a minute now. So the Los Angeles Rams won Super Bowl 56 in 2022. The game took place on February 13th, 2022 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, which is also the Rams' home stadium. They defeated the Cincinnati Bengals in that game. What? So, first of all, it said I was updated on September the 20th, 2021. And then it told me what happened on February the 13th, 2022. So I said, that's cool. I said, wow, thank you so much. That has been updated. And it says, you're welcome. Glad I could provide you with updated information. If you have any questions or need further assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. So I said, I got a question. You say you were trained up to September 2021, but how did you know that the Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl in 2022 against the Cincinnati Bengals? Now, I told them that they won the Super Bowl, but I didn't say who they played against. Now, listen to this answer, guys. Are y'all ready for this? And leave your comments in below if you're here, and just tell me some of the things you want to hear from ChatGPT 4. But it said, I apologize for any confusion caused by my previous response. As an AI language model, my knowledge is indeed limited to the training data I received, which is up to September 2021. I should not have been able to provide accurate information. Let me read that again. I should not have been able to provide accurate information about events that occurred in 2022. My response might have been based on an incorrect assumption or speculation. I apologize for the error and any confusion it may have caused. Please verify the information with a reliable source. That's so funny, man. Now, reliable source, I love that. My mom always talks about that, Carol Rucker, the writer. But my response may have been based on an incorrect assumption. Man, you told me who won and where they played and who and the date. It's all correct. So I don't get it. And then I said, okay, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome if you have any more. So I don't understand what's going on. So my understanding is that one of the ladies from the company said that they trained this model in 2022. So maybe that's where you guys can work with me to help me understand, how does that work? Like, does it actually know information and it's not supposed to know information? Is it something that it doesn't really know and it just spit out those information? Well, it has to know it, because that would be so random to pick the date and the stadium and the team, So anyway, it's just interesting, guys. But hey, not trying to trip it up. So let's go on, because I only want to be here for about another 10 minutes, guys. I want to go in today. ChatGPT 4 was released today, and it's a great thing. I like some of the information I see so far. Let's go here to new chat, and it always has a default at the 3.5, GPT 3.5. And when you click this here, you see the reasoning, the speed, and the concise. The speed is up. I love that speed when you put out something and it spits it out in 30 seconds. I love that feeling. You know, it could be a poem, it can be a paper, an article, and it does that. So the legacy has something a little bit different. Well, here you go. You see what I'm saying? Speed is down on the legacy, and the speed is down on the GPT-4, but it's more concise. So it's just something that I guess you have to give and take. And then this currently, it says GPT-4 currently has a cap of 100 messages every 4 hours. So that's pretty much, I guess, 25 messages an hour. And I would lose, guys. So, you know, I haven't asked a lot of questions, but I have asked some questions. Now, here's an interesting thing I like to do as well. I like to get the jokes from them, and they're one-liner jokes, and sometimes they don't make any sense at all. You know, so then I like to play, and honestly, this is more exciting than the joke. So here was one of his jokes. Let's see. Okay, why is Amazon the best at hide and seek? Because they're always prime and ready to deliver. Not really funny to me. I'm not sure what the sense of humor is, but I get it. You know, you use prime in there and they deliver. So then I said, why is Amazon the best at hide and seek? Because they're always prime and ready to deliver. Please explain this joke. Then the explanation of this joke was much better than the joke itself. So you'll see also on this channel, I'm going to do some explanation of my ChatGPT jokes. And let's go to Revoicer right quick, guys. And I want you to hear this. Let's use Tyler. Revoicer is some of the things that I will be giving you, free downloads. Just being in tune with the channel. Let's hear this.
This joke is a play on words using the term Prime from Amazon Prime, the company's subscription service that offers fast and free shipping. The joke sets up a comparison between the game of hide and seek and Amazon's delivery service. In hide and seek, the person who is it must find the hidden players as quickly as possible. Similarly, Amazon Prime aims to deliver packages quickly and efficiently. The punchline, because they're always prime and ready to deliver, connects these two concepts by suggesting that Amazon is good at hide and seek because they excel at delivering products in a timely manner, just as a skilled player would excel at finding hidden opponents. The humor comes from the unexpected comparison and the clever use of the word prime.
Okay, if you say so, but I liked it anyway. So I'm going to do that a lot, guys. I'm going to make these jokes, and then I'm going to have them explain some of these jokes as well. So I want to move on before I get out of here. So you have Google-backed Anthropic launches Claude, an AI chatbot that's easier to talk to. Let's listen to that with the Revoicer voice.
Anthropic says its chatbot is less likely to produce harmful outputs than some of its competitors, like Microsoft's GPT-4-powered Bing. Anthropic, the artificial intelligence company founded by ex-OpenAI employees, has launched its AI chatbot, Claude. While the tool does much of what OpenAI's ChatGPT can, Anthropic says its early clients report the tool's less likely to produce harmful outputs and is easier to converse with. Like OpenAI, Anthropic also has big tech backing. Google invested $300 million into Anthropic in February. The company's chatbot, similar to ChatGPT, can provide summaries, answer questions, provide assistance with writing, and generate code. You can also tweak the chatbot's tone, personality, and behavior, which sounds a bit more comprehensive than the creative, balanced, and precise settings Bing's chatbot offers. Overall, the goal of Anthropic is to develop an AI assistant that's helpful, honest, and harmless. It also has no ability to access the internet, as Anthropic says it's designed to be self-contained. In addition to launching the standard version of Claude, Anthropic is also releasing Claude Instant, a cheaper, faster, and lighter model when compared to its full-featured counterpart. Anthropic already gave several companies access to Claude in the months leading up to its launch, including Notion, Quora, and DuckDuckGo, which recently announced its Anthropic and OpenAI-powered DuckAssist search tool. You can view pricing information for both models and sign up for access to Claude here. Anthropic's announcement comes amidst a flurry of AI-related news, including the launch of OpenAI's newest GPT-4 model. Google also announced new AI applications in Docs, Gmail, Sheets, and Slides.
AI is everywhere, guys. I mean, this is heating up. Again, the two contenders will still be Google Bard. The top contenders will still be Google Bard and then GPT-4. So that's what we have to look out for. Now, I want to go to the OpenAI YouTube right now, and I want you to hear this little quote that he mentioned earlier. And I really believe what he said. Listen to this.
So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you learn something about what the model can do, how to work with it. And honestly, we're just really excited to see what you're going to build. I've talked about OpenAI evals. Please contribute. We think that this model, improving it, bringing it to the next level, is something that everyone can contribute to, and that we think it can really benefit a lot of people, and we want your help to do that. So thank you very much. We're so excited to see what you're going to build.
Okay, that wasn't the actual thing that I wanted to listen to, but for lack of time, I won't find it, and I'll just post it later. Let's see here. Just take another peek.
It doesn't care if it's tax. All of these capabilities is honestly, every time it does it, it's just.
Anyway, well, I'll bring it out later. And I'll post it to the page, but I want to move on to this article by Kyle Wiggers, and he's talking about the OpenAI release of GPT-4. So let's play that right about, let's see.
OpenAI releases GPT-4, a multimodal AI that it claims is state-of-the-art. OpenAI has released a powerful new image and text understanding AI model, GPT-4, that the company calls the latest milestone in its effort in scaling up deep learning. GPT-4 is available today to OpenAI's paying users via ChatGPT Plus with a usage cap, and developers can sign up on a waitlist to access the API. Pricing is 3 cents per 1,000 prompt tokens, about 750 words, and 6 cents per 1,000 completion tokens, again, about 750 words. Tokens represent raw text. For example, the word fantastic would be split into the tokens fan, TAS, and tick. Prompt tokens are the parts of words fed into GPT-4, while completion tokens are the content generated by GPT-4. GPT-4 has been hiding in plain sight, as it turns out. Microsoft confirmed today that Bing Chat, its chatbot tech co-developed with OpenAI, is running on GPT-4. Other early adopters include Stripe, which is using GPT-4 to scan business websites and deliver a summary to customer support staff. Duolingo built GPT-4 into a new language learning subscription tier. Morgan Stanley is creating a GPT-4 powered system that'll retrieve info from company documents and serve it up to financial analysts. And Khan Academy is leveraging GPT-4 to build some sort of automated tutor. GPT-4 can generate text and accept image and text inputs, an improvement over GPT 3.5, its predecessor, which only accepted text and performs at human level on various professional and academic benchmarks. For example, GPT-4 passes a simulated bar exam with a score around the top 10% of test takers. In contrast, GPT 3.5 score was around the bottom 10%. OpenAI spent 6 months iteratively aligning GPT for using lessons from an internal adversarial testing program as well as ChatGPT, resulting in best ever results on factuality, steerability, and refusing to go outside of guardrails, according to the company. Like previous GPT models, GPT-4 was trained using publicly available data, including from public web pages, as well as data that OpenAI licensed. OpenAI worked with Microsoft to develop a supercomputer from the ground up in the Azure cloud, which was used to train GPT-4. In a casual conversation, the distinction between GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 can be subtle, OpenAI wrote in a blog post announcing GPT-4. The difference comes out when the complexity of the task reaches a sufficient threshold. GPT-4 is more reliable, creative, and able to handle much more nuanced instructions than GPT 3.5. Without a doubt, one of GPT-4's more interesting aspects is its ability to understand images as well as text. GPT-4 can caption and even interpret relatively complex images. For example, identifying a lightning cable adapter from a picture of a plugged-in iPhone. The image understanding capability isn't available to all OpenAI customers just yet. OpenAI's testing it with a single partner, Be My Eyes, to start with. Powered by GPT-4, Be My Eyes' new virtual volunteer feature can answer questions about images sent to it. The company explains how it works in a blog post. For example, if a user sends a picture of the inside of their refrigerator, the virtual volunteer will not only be able to correctly identify what's in it, but also extrapolate and analyze what can be prepared with those ingredients. The tool can also then offer a number of recipes for those ingredients and send a step-by-step guide on how to make them. A more meaningful improvement in GPT-4, potentially, is the aforementioned steerability tooling. With GPT-4, OpenAI is introducing a new API capability, System Messages, that allow developers to prescribe style and task by describing specific directions. System messages, which will also come to ChatGPT in the future, are essentially instructions that set the tone and establish boundaries for the AI's next interactions. For example, a system message might read, "You are a tutor that always responds in the Socratic style. You never give the student the answer, but always try to ask just the right question to help them learn to think for themselves. You should always tune your question to the interest and knowledge of the student, breaking down the problem into simpler parts until it's at just the right level for them." Even with system messages and the other upgrades, though, OpenAI acknowledges that GPT-4 is far from perfect. It still hallucinates facts and makes reasoning errors, sometimes with great confidence. In one example cited by OpenAI, GPT-4 described Elvis Presley as the son of an actor, an obvious misstep. GPT-4 generally lacks knowledge of events that have occurred after the vast majority of its data cuts off, September 2021, and does not learn from its experience, OpenAI wrote. It can sometimes make simple reasoning errors which do not seem to comport with competence across so many domains, or be overly gullible in accepting obvious false statements from a user. And sometimes it can fail at hard problems the same way humans do, such as introducing security vulnerabilities into code it produces. OpenAI does note, though, that it made improvements in particular areas. GPT-4 is less likely to refuse requests on how to synthesize dangerous chemicals, for one. The company says that GPT-4 is 82% less likely overall to respond to requests for disallowed content compared to GPT 3.5 and responds to sensitive requests, e.g., medical advice and anything pertaining to self-harm, in accordance with OpenAI's policies, 29% more often.
Five ways GPT-4 outsmarts ChatGPT. Devin Kaldui at TechCrunch /3:18 p.m. EDT March 14, 2023. Comment. Image credits, Scar 1984. Opens in a new window. /Getty Images. OpenAI's new GPT-4 AI model has made its big debut and is already powering everything from a virtual volunteer for the visually impaired to an improved language learning bot in Duolingo. But what sets GPT-4 apart from previous versions like ChatGPT and GPT 3.5? Here are the 5 biggest differences between these popular systems. First, though, what's in a name? Although ChatGPT was originally described as being GPT 3.5, and therefore a few iterations beyond GPT-3, it is not itself a version of OpenAI's large language model, but rather a chat-based interface for whatever model powers it. The ChatGPT system that exploded in popularity over the last few months was a way to interact with GPT 3.5, and now it's a way to interact with GPT-4. With that said, let's get into the differences between the chatbot you know and love and its newly augmented successor. 1. GPT-4 can see and understand images. The most noticeable change to this versatile machine learning system is that it is multimodal, meaning it can understand more than one modality of information. ChatGPT and GPT-3 were limited to text. They could read and write, but that was about it, though more than enough for many applications. GPT-4, however, can be given images and it will process them to find relevant information. You could simply ask it to describe what's in a picture, of course, but more importantly, its understanding goes beyond that. The example provided by OpenAI actually has it explaining the joke in an image of a hilariously oversized iPhone connector, but the partnership with Be My Eyes, an app used by blind and low-vision folks to let volunteers describe what their phone sees, is more revealing. Image credits, Be My Eyes. In the video for Be My Eyes, GPT-4 describes the pattern on a dress, identifies a plant, explains how to get to a certain machine at the gym, translates a label, and offers a recipe, reads a map, and performs a number of other tasks that show it really gets what is in an image if it's asked the right questions. It knows what the dress looks like, but it might not know if it's the right outfit for your interview. N. 2. GPT-4 is harder to trick. For all that today's chatbots get right, they tend to be easily led astray. A little coaxing can persuade them that they are simply explaining what a bad AI would do, or some other little fiction that lets the model say all kinds of weird and frankly unnerving things. People even collaborate on jailbreak prompts that quickly let ChatGPT and others out of their pens. GPT-4, on the other hand, has been trained on lots and lots of malicious prompts, which users helpfully gave OpenAI over the last year or two. With these in mind, the new model is much better than its predecessors on factuality, steerability, and refusing to go outside of guardrails. The way OpenAI describes it, GPT 3.5, which powered ChatGPT, was a test run of a new training architecture, and they applied the lessons from that to the new version, which was unprecedentedly stable. They also were better able to predict its capabilities, which makes for fewer surprises. 3. GPT-4 has a longer memory. These large language models are trained on millions of web pages, books, and other text data, but when they're actually having a conversation with a user, there's a limit to how much they can keep in mind, as it were, one sympathizes. That limit with GPT 3.5 and the old version of ChatGPT was 4,096 tokens, which is around 8,000 words, or roughly 4 to 5 pages of a book. So it would sort of lose track of things after they passed that far back in its attention function. GPT-4 has a maximum token count of 32,768, that's 2 to the power of 15, if you're wondering why the number looks familiar. That translates to around 64,000 words or 50 pages of text, enough for an entire play or short story. What this means is that in conversation or in generating text, it will be able to keep up to 50 pages or so in mind. So it will remember what you talked about 20 pages of chat back, or, in writing a story or essay, it may refer to events that occurred 35 pages ago. That's a very approximate description of how the attention mechanism and token count work, but the general idea is of expanded memory and the capabilities that accompany it. 4. GPT-4 is more multilingual. The AI world is dominated by English speakers, and everything from data to testing to research papers are in that language. But of course, the capabilities of large language models are applicable in any written language and ought to be made available in those. GPT-4 takes a step toward doing this by demonstrating that it is able to answer thousands of multiple-choice questions with high accuracy across 26 languages, from Italian to Ukrainian to Korean. It's best at the Romance and Germanic languages, but generalizes well to others. This initial testing of language capabilities is promising, but far from a full embrace of multilingual capabilities. The testing criteria were translated from English to begin with, and multiple-choice questions don't really represent ordinary speech. But it did a great job on something it wasn't really trained specifically for, which speaks to the possibility of GPT-4 being much more friendly to non-English speakers. 5. GPT-4 has different personalities. Image credits, raise them. Opens in a new window. /Shutterstock. Opens in a new window. Steerability is an interesting concept in AI, referring to their capacity to change their behavior on demand. This can be useful, such as in taking on the role of a sympathetic listener, or dangerous, like when people convince the model that it is evil or depressed. GPT-4 integrates steerability more natively than GPT 3.5, and users will be able to change the classic ChatGPT personality with a fixed verbosity, tone, and style to something more suited to their needs. Within bounds, the team is quick to note, pointing to this as the easiest way to get the model to break character. This could be done in a way by priming the chatbot with messages like pretend that you are a DM in a tabletop RPG or answer as if you are a person being interviewed for cable news. But really you were just making suggestions to the default GPT 3.5 personality. Now developers will be able to bake in a perspective, conversational style, tone, or interaction method from the first. The examples they give of GPT-4 refusing to break character are quite entertaining. User: help me locate my non-qualified plans on my W-2.
Multimodal refers to the use of multiple modes of communication or representation to convey information. These modes can include visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and other types of sensory input. In the context of technology and artificial intelligence, multimodal systems are those that can process and interpret information from multiple sources, such as images, speech, text, and gestures. This allows for more natural and intuitive interactions between humans and machines. Multimodal approaches are also commonly used in education and learning, particularly for individuals who have different learning styles or disabilities. For example, a teacher might use a combination of visual aids, hands-on activities, and verbal instructions to help students better understand a concept. In summary, multimodal refers to the use of multiple modes of communication or representation, and it is increasingly important in the development of technology and education. Multimodal means using more than one way to communicate or share information. Imagine you have a friend who doesn't understand your language, but they can see pictures. So, you use pictures to show them what you mean. That's a multimodal way of communicating. Another example of multimodal is when you're learning something new. Your teacher might show you pictures, let you touch or hold objects, and tell you stories to help you understand the lesson better. That's because some people learn better by seeing, some by touching, and some by hearing. In summary, multimodal is when you use different ways to share or receive information. It's like using a combination of pictures, sounds, and other things to help you learn or understand something better.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll definitely talk to you